Well, it's that time of year again. Spring has sprung. The pollen is back, I lost my job, and the spring blockbusters are coming in hot. I went and saw the Minecraft movie, and it made me reminisce on the time I've spent playing Minecraft. What a fantastic game. There's literally nothing to dislike about such a, game as Minecraft. But vanilla Minecraft gets a little stale sometimes, which is why I decided to play its evil, deformed, bastard brother, Rlcraft. Now, I know what you're all thinking, but GoFigglo, Rlcraft is really hard, and you have to be a true gamer to take on a challenge like that. And I sympathize with this cringy-ass worry. And I wouldn't want all my little fans to worry, but you're right. It is really, really, really fucking hard, and annoying, and stupid. But the truth is, and this is just between you and me, pal, I've played Rlcraft before. I got to around endgame twice before.
What the fuck, dude? Dude! This fucking leveling system is stupid. This witch is hiding in a fucking piece of sugarcane and I can't hit him at all because he's in the sugarcane and I can't fucking break it because I have to be level like 5 fucking harvesting. The fuck?
But I never beat any of the final bosses or survived the lost cities.
Dude, the fact that Grunts can just like bust a fucking holy shit!
So I figured that would be a good goal for this playthrough. Let's get right into it. I started my Rlcraft journey by booting up Terraria and doing an entire master mode playthrough with my good friend Patrick.
I just noticed this entire house is supported by these 2 doors.
Patrick had literally never played Terraria before, and I'm not really that good at it, so master mode seemed like the correct difficulty to play. This endeavor was purely to get a feel for the type flavor of gameplay that Rlcraft has, and which regular Minecraft does not.
Whichever one is that?
It has 23 defense.
Okay.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh, wait, I thought I died. Oh, wait, okay, well, whatever. I was looking at the wiki.
I'm a world-class fucking champion gamer. Dude, she's so close to dying. Please come back. Please come back. Just hit her. She got 30 fucking health. Oh my god. Maybe a solar eclipse will just happen. Wouldn't that be fun? Oh my god, dude! Dude.
Wait,
it just happened.
He's dead, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead!
Alright, he's all yours. You're blowing slimes out his ass, dude. Did you see the slimes flying out of his ass?
Where's King Slime?
That was fun, and it only took 86 hours. And 6 more hours I spent on journey mode practicing for the daytime Empress fight. Anyways, after that I thought, hey, I should show Patrick Rlcraft. He likes Minecraft, and he ended up liking Terraria a little.
This is stupid. This shit sucks.
And from what I remembered, Rlcraft basically just puts the 2 games in a blender and shits out a hybrid freak. The best of both worlds. This was a bold, optimistic assumption that had no basis in reality. So I set up a server and hop on to test it out, just making sure the mod pack is functioning as intended. I cannot even play for 60 seconds before I get accosted by a vicious gang of pumpkin monsters, whose erratic movements and spawn camping ability rendered me helpless. Normally in Rlcraft you would just respawn somewhere new, thousands of blocks away, and not have to worry about the pumpkin monsters anymore. But I foolishly hit this waystone, an item which would allow me to teleport back and forth between different waystones I encounter on my journey. Unfortunately, it also resets your spawn point every time you use one, meaning I was stuck in pumpkin purgatory, probably forever. Quite the ginungus blunder. It was then that I remembered the health and first aid system in Rlcraft, a system which, if mentioned in casual conversation with me, will surely send me into a delirious mania. You see, in Rlcraft, your hearts down here mean nothing. There might as well be a family album PNG slideshow on your screen where the hearts are because they don't mean shit. The thing you want to look at when taking damage is this little guy on the bottom right. He has 6 different body parts, 2 legs, 2 arms, a body, and a head. Whenever you take damage from any source in Rlcraft, it will damage the body part that the attack hit. For example, fall damage breaks your legs and makes you move slowly, in agonizing pain. Any damage to your arms gives you mining fatigue and weakness as you struggle to swing a weapon or use a pickaxe while your arms are a splintery soup of muscle and bone. But this is all fine. You can bandage up your leg and be as good as new in a few seconds. Where the real problem lies is with your body and your head. Starting off, they each have 3 hearts. And if they reach 0 hearts, you die. You may not be an auditory learner, and maybe what I'm saying isn't making sense to you yet, but let me show you some practical examples of this principle in action. You can be on full health and die instantly. Skeletons always aim for the head, meaning that if you encounter one and you happen to have forgotten your shield at home that day, you're taking a death. They will 2 or 3 shot you if you're wearing anything worse than enchanted diamond armor. They are genuinely one of the most infuriating things about this mod pack. I swear to God, their AI is different. Their movements are unpredictable. They fire so fast. They will mercilessly hunt you down if you try to hide and put an arrow into your face at point blank range. No. Wait. But all of that is alright. It just takes some getting used to. And I, GoFigglo, as the server owner, decided that a gravestone mod would be a good compromise between playing with keep inventory on like a little bitch. And spending literal hours to make a single item only to have it despawn in 5 minutes after being killed by some quirky Rlcraft shenanigans. So yeah, I'm editing the mod pack. I'm mixing and matching and tweaking and forging my own gamer path forward. I also decide that re-rolling villagers in this mod is fucking stupid. Since Shivaxi got rid of the wolf armor purification thing, and by the time I started seeking enchantments for god armor, I had nearsightedly leveled up my melee damage in the L menu all the way, so I was killing the zombie villagers in 2 or 3 hits with the shittiest weapon that I could even put purification on. This led me to install the Enchanting Plus mod, which really, in all honesty, should be added into vanilla Minecraft. This shit is fucking dumb. A block that lets you just pick whatever fucking enchantments you want and slap it right on there with no questions asked, with a 20% discount for having bookshelves nearby. This shit is legit. It enhanced my playthrough by allowing me to spend more time fighting and less time dealing with this. But those are the only 2 mods I added. Some may see these as mods to make the game easier and complain that I am a coward.
Hey everybody, let's throw
Downvotes.
at him and see how he likes it.
And to them I say, try convincing your friends to keep playing when they aren't having fun, because it's impossible to have fun on this fucking mod pack because they keep dying over and over and over and over and over and losing their items and making no progress. Anyways, let's get to the real start of the playthrough. And by real start, I mean the start after I literally deleted the entire world file and made a new one. It's not Halloween. I'm in a village full of villagers and iron golems and Aegis, the protectors of the village, and they all turn a blind eye to my suffering. I probably could have just went into creative mode and broken the waystone, but that was cheating, and cheating was something I vowed I would never do in this playthrough. Honesty is the best policy, people, and so the only honest way out was to restart. I spawned in and realized my sensitivity was way too high. I arbitrarily pick a number that feels alright and I use it for the rest of the playthrough. I then tabbed out of my game for some reason, only to find that when I tabbed back in I was standing next to a fucking dragon.
Fuck, man.
Dragons are the Rlcraft equivalent of some kind of laser satellite weapon that I'm sure the military actually has. They absolutely scorch the earth around them like it's their policy, and they will instantly kill you from nearly out of render distance if they notice you. I made my escape and decided to set up shop in a little floating fishing house thing. This choice of dwelling is quite curious because fishing in Rlcraft is pretty much useless at all stages of the game. It's also curious because the ocean is definitely, probably, the worst biome to live in at the start of the game. Every mob that spawns in water is faster, smarter, and angrier than you and will not hesitate to assert their dominance. Believe it or not, the sea is home to the sea monsters, which have the worst AI and animations ever put into a video game, but will still slaughter you for fun if you get too close. This one is a little out of his element, which is good for me because if he was in the water, I would be killed and have to craft a boat to go and retrieve my boat. I paddle over to a little sea castle structure. These are really good early game because they have fire to keep you warm and water to cool you off. Did I mention there was temperature in this game? You can die very quickly from being too hot or too cold. There are also seasons, where in winter you can die just from being logged in at nighttime. We'll become very acquainted with the hypothermia mechanic later on, and there are way too many things that will kill me before the temperature at this stage, so I won't worry about it too much right now. I try to break some wheat, because I remember that in Rlcraft, you can get experience points for harvesting crops, and you need experience to level up the 2 skill leveling mods which are vital for progression. Unfortunately, I did not meet the level requirement to break this weak little plant, so that will have to wait. The loot in these things is not very good, but to me, it's splendid. I need plenty of wood to make boats to retrieve my boat. I steal the chandelier because I think it'll look nice in my underwater bedroom. I basically just looted random shit for a while until Patrick joins the server for the first time. This is a historic moment. This is the beginning of a long and incredible journey, full of ups and downs, and Patrick would be there with me through it all. He spawned somewhere very far away, naturally.
Okay, what's going on here?
And as if by some cosmic agreement or universal force, this chest in this zombie fuck shack had a singular wormhole potion in it, which will allow me to teleport to Patrick so we can start playing the game together.
Oh my god, I just found a wormhole potion in a chest. Oh my god, let's fucking go.
What's useless? I mean, unless you want to come over to where I am.
I immediately dig into the wall so I can figure out how to use this potion.
Yeah, you know, you're fine to wormhole to me right now.
No teleportation targets available.
I fail miserably at a simple task and immediately resort to Googling the issue and scouring Reddit posts, a common theme of this playthrough. Turns out you just have to hold right-click down and not spam the shit out of it. Who knew? I down the wormhole potion and leave my old base and chests and life behind.
Oh.
Hey bud, how's it hanging?
I arrive at the house that would be our base. Instead of playing it safe and setting my spawn point at the house so I wouldn't die and respawn at the ocean base, I decided it would be a better idea to walk outside for some fresh air, where I get fucking kidnapped by a scarlet rock,
Jesus Christ.
which I barely managed to kill.
I'm gonna break my fucking legs.
Phew. That was a close one. Now would really be a good time to set my spawn point in the new base. Except I start dying of thirst, so I need to drink some dirty river water. Unfortunately, nobody ever expects the second rock,
No, dude, I got picked up again, dude.
which picks me up by my fucking head and drops me for fall damage, leaving me with both of my legs shattered and a severe cerebral hemorrhage.
Get me inside, get me inside.
Nothing a good night's sleep can't fix.
Sleep in one of the beds. There's tons upstairs, too.
Okay, I'm sleeping.
With newfound vigor, I decide to greatly overestimate my skill and ability and head straight into a nearby battle tower.
Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no.
A decision that left Patrick all alone to discover that mining coal has a 1% chance to spawn a geonock.
What is this thing?
A giant flying monster that can and will end your life.
I don't know, but that looks fucked.
Don't like it? Don't mine coal.
Oh, it's still here. Great. Okay, I'm gonna die again. Great. That's fine. Okay.
Anyways, I get killed by a zombie through the wall at the battle tower, so I decide, voluntarily, to help Patrick with his geonac problem. I also finally wise up and decide that battle towers are not the play, so I head home for the night and craft a leather canteen to use my charcoal filters with so I can drink clean water and not die from parasites.
Hell yeah.
I failed to realize for quite a while that this leather canteen only holds 3 sips, and can easily be upgraded to the iron canteen, which holds 6, effectively halving the number of charcoal filters I would have to make. I also failed to mention any of this to Patrick at all,
Fucking parasites, dude. What the hell?
leaving him to succumb to a parasitic infection only moments later. I then died to a fish, dropping my head HP to 0, despite the fact that the fish was in the water and my head was outside the water. I then noticed that there are some grapes growing at the village nearby, so I load up on grapes for some reason. Something deep inside me is telling me, get those grapes! You're gonna need them, champ! Then I got attacked by a stupid little pixie thing, which gives you one of my favorite status effects, instability, which makes you fly around all over the place like a fucking bouncy ball.
Holy shit!
And if you hit a wall too hard, you take an unreasonable amount of damage and die. I head back to the battle tower full of confidence and bravado and swing my cock around a little, only to get shot right in the face by a skeleton.
My god, this is like...
I run and hide like a coward, blocking myself in, only to realize that right after the skeleton shot me in the face with an arrow, the zombies grabbed my arms and smashed them, which left me with half a heart on my head and mining fatigue too. I very slowly dig a safety box around the battle tower, only for a skeleton to literally do the fucking anime teleport behind you thing and kill me. When I respawn, I am too stupid to grab a pickaxe, so I have to break a cubic meter of stone with my fists. This is very unwise, as it literally takes 60 seconds to break the stone, and it turns out all I had to do was go forward one more block through the dirt to get to my safety hole. Oops. I meet again with the skeleporting skeleton, which, by the way, is an infernal mob. Infernal mobs have a chance to spawn whenever a hostile mob spawns and always have fun little attributes like ninja, which means it teleports behind you, but we'll see more of them later. For now, just assume that unless it is something really weak, an infernal mob is basically just an instant death sentence. He fucks off, so I jump down into the cheese hole and start fisting the mobs to death. Looking back at this footage, I honestly don't even know what I was trying to accomplish here. I spent a really long time doing it. And for what? I gained no XP, no good items, and luckily a baby zombie comes along and fucking jump scares me right back to my bed.
Holy shit.
I get killed by a strider trying to get my stuff back.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And then realize that I used stone to block off the cheese hole, so after another 60 seconds of riveting gameplay...
Dude, I blocked this off with stone? Am I fucking retarded?
I get my stuff back, slap down a half slab to prevent another baby zombie attack, and get right back into wasting my time. Patrick gets acquainted with a dragon, and I lose another battle to the stupid little fucking pixie thing.
Fuck off.
Interesting looking
Dude,
structure.
holy shit.
I once again go to the tower and get absolutely decimated by a skeleton that drops down from the sky, shoots me in the face, which knocks me down a floor to another
Dude,
skeleton who
please.
shoots me in the face.
Holy shit.
They then get into a beef, earning me the sniper duel. Kill a skeleton with an arrow for more than 50 meters achievement, despite me doing no such thing. I guess I decided I was ready for a Doom-like dungeon now, because I'm down inside of one, slowly and methodically making my way through when suddenly...
I could kill that guy before he killed me.
Oh, dude.
This clip is a perfect example of how fast things can go to shit in this mod pack. You genuinely have to play this game like a paranoid schizophrenic, because the shadow monsters are real. They're not in your head, and they are definitely out to get you. One of those aforementioned shadow monsters is the Gru. My strategy of choice for dealing with the Gru is to forehead into them over and over and over with no items and slowly whittling their health away. They give you blindness and fly all over the fucking place, so the forehead strategy really excels at minimizing item losses and maximizing time loss. Anyways, I get my items back and start chipping away at this Doom-like dungeon. I settle into a nice little groove of killing whatever the fuck these things are, when I suddenly shit my pants because of this loud-ass random event announcement that sounds like some guy in his bedroom just hacked my computer and started yelling at me. Oh yeah, so in Rlcraft there are random events that spawn an absolute metric fuck ton of enemies, and they all follow the theme of the event, whether it's an earth or reptile or fire event. This will be important later, so remember this piece of information. Anywho, a gaggle of zombies spawn, one of which is a darkness-inducing God damn it. Anyways, a gaggle of zombies spawn, one of which is a darkness-inducing infernal, and another of which is a new type of infernal mob. At least I don't remember encountering them in my previous playthroughs, but they have different modifiers such as Vortex, which pulls you in towards them. I didn't know this at the time, and the zombie with the yellow particles is the Vortex one. And notice how he doesn't use the Vortex ability a single time while I'm fighting, and instead as soon as I go to retreat I get Vortexed into the horde and die. The zombies then move up and begin the great zombie siege of my walled off section of the Doom-like dungeon, and I train them around in a circle punching them for a while before dying instantly to a Darkling the second I try to make a dash for my items. I get my stuff back, and unbeknownst to me at the time, I acquired a bronze warhammer with one of the strongest enchantments in the game, Lifesteal. See that? See how I'm healing when I smack the fucking zombies around? That's Lifesteal, baby. It's my favorite enchantment in the game. I love it so much. When I found out it was nerfed in Rlcraft 2.9.3 and could only go up to level 2, I went into the configs and changed it back to the way it was. Or at least the way I thought it was. I thought it went up to 5, but apparently its max level was 4. Oopsie. I continue my forehead strategy and, after dying in one shot to a skeleton, get called out by the death message. So I move on to something else.
Okay, bedtime.
I hightail it back to my base with the mediocre loot that I got from the first 3 rooms of the Doom-like dungeon, and suddenly it starts to rain. Being midwinter in a mountainous snowy biome, being caught in the rain was no place to be, and so I get hypothermia. Fair enough. Just gotta put this stuff up and sleep so I don't respawn hundreds of blocks away all the way back at the Doom-like dungeon. I decide to start using the villages as a waystone network to get around faster. Here you can see me traveling from Rlcraft village to our home village of Asscrack. I kill a trumpet skeleton and pick up my favorite item in the game, the trumpet. Some of the more astute GoFigglo fans may notice that the skeleton noise is my kill sound in TF2. I find another battle tower and pull off an amazing item retrieval stunt. Equip my nice warm wool armor and then die of hypothermia anyways. I enter another Doom-like dungeon and see some witches. Here's an important learning moment for all of you Rlcraft newbies out there. Witches are not to be fucked with or even engaged in combat unless you are absolutely certain that you can kill every single one of them before they can throw a single potion at you. In Rlcraft, witches are some of the most broken and ridiculous mobs. They can throw potions that make your screen spin in circles, potions that rearrange your entire inventory, potions that reverse your controls for 4 minutes, potions that strike you with lightning, and potions that just make whatever they hit with it fucking explode. You get the point. They are bullshit. In this clip, I'm just observing them when they make an aggressive move at me to assert their superior combat prowess.
Hi, how are you?
I make my first intelligent move of the entire playthrough and leave. I run into another bullshit enemy pretty soon after, however, but the only reason this one isn't higher on my list of bullshit enemies is because it's actually pretty rare. It does laser you and cause slowness and wither and nausea, and it does make you respawn at your house 1,000 blocks away, but it's alright. You can just go back to kill it and die again, respawning at your house 1,000 blocks away. I find out that zombies can have thorns armor. Have a literal psychotic episode when I hear wings flapping on a dark snowy night and I can't locate the source.
What the fuck is that?
And find a dead dragon skeleton in the desert next to a TV megachurch. This supplies me with some dragon bones, which are what I'll use to craft the best weapons in the game in due time.
Holy shit.
Right now, though, I find a little crater-based structure, and while I'm minding my own business, I get fucked up by a cinder and die.
Okay.
Whilst fighting Cinder my ass, there's no way he can claim self-defense on that homicide. I die to an infernal cave spider with dim patented janky-ass Rlcraft spider hitboxes. I get attacked by a crake, which, at the time, I didn't know were completely passive as long as I don't sprint near them. So it gets my head down to half a heart, miles from my base, and what do? See that it's right there and just fucking sprint away from it. This caused a fiasco of misfortune, as I ran all the way back just to get killed by a fucking lion while on top of my grave.
Cactus.
I finally get my stuff and make it back home, and a warg decides to come scare the f*** out of me for no reason. I decide it's time to stop fucking around, and so I start trying to get a flying mount. There are many steps in this process, the first of which is absolutely decimating the silex population of my local pond, which is frozen over for the winter, leading me to have to do this ridiculous whack-a-mole shit.
Where's the fucking game warden?
I need the silex meat to craft with bones into avian treats, which I will feed to a rock in the hopes that I can tame it and ride it around. The steps are as follows. 1. Study rocks with the soul gazer until I have enough knowledge to tame one. 2. Make treats and have lots of them in case the rock wants to be an asshole. 3. Make the soul stone, which binds the rock to me and allows me to summon it and dismiss it whenever I want, and allows me to respawn it if it dies. 4. Craft the avian saddle so I can actually ride it. After I do these 4 easy tasks, I'll finally have a flying mount, which is honestly one of the biggest advancements in progression you can have in Rlcraft. You go from being lycanite fodder on the ground to being basically invincible up in the sky. Unfortunately, these steps, like many tasks in this game, are a pain in the ass. You need diamonds for the soulstone, which, hey, fair enough, it's a pretty powerful item. I know the battle towers usually have a lot of diamonds, so I head to one armed with a diamond pike, which gives me extra reach to cheese the golem at the top and open the chest from outside his detection radius. And get fucking levitated into the air and killed by a djinn. This is, as the French say, a situation. My tombstone is floating up in the goddamn sky, and on the way to go get my items back, I step on a single potato crop, spawning in the fucking piranha plant from Super Mario, and he gives me poison too for 15 seconds. I get my stuff back and head back to continue violating environmental guidelines and fishing regulations, And when this Silex spawns a Reaper, I feel like I can finally actually kill shit effectively. Combine improved weaponry with my favorite added feature since the last time I played, the horse, and you have a winning combination. What's that, you say? Horses are in vanilla? How about the ability to set a personal horse and teleport it to your exact position whenever the fuck you want? This is honestly a game changer. Horses can outrun 90% of the bullshit that's trying to kill you in this game, so before you can get a flying mount, horses are incredibly useful. One thing that horses cannot do, however, is insulate me from my own stupidity. I had never seen this creature before, so I go up to it and give it a friendly hello slice with my halberd, and it basically instantly saws my head off. The Balayang. Adding that to the do not fuck with list. This death was pretty bad, and led me on a psychotic 3 AM item retrieval mission where I ended up going the wrong way for 80% of it. Also, for like 30 minutes I forgot that I could teleport my horse to me, and was just going on foot through the desert, burning through hunger and thirst like crazy the whole time. Only when I ran out of sprint did I stop and realize I could have been moving faster the entire time and not have used any hunger. Another ginormous blunder. So anyways, it's 3 AM, I can't find my fucking items after dying to the Balayang, and so the game decided to lift my spirits and do this.
What a stench!
It's funny cause poop. Anyways, I got killed by another Balayang. This one decided he was really gonna fuck me up and chased me down, killing me instantly again. I finally got my stuff back, forgot to record it, went to raid a nearby battle tower and spotted the first dragon I'd seen since the beginning of my playthrough. This was cool, but also gay, because I had to build over to that side of the battle tower to get to the chest, which obviously wasn't gonna happen with this guy patrolling the skies. I find another tower and slowly build up the side of it, miss a jump, break both of my femurs, and go cry to the nymph nearby. I finally get to the top and go to try out the pike strategy, only to find out the chest was locked. This really pissed me off, so I gave up on battle towers and decided to try mining for diamonds instead. I make a quick little pit stop for some iron and get jump scared by a golden geonock, forget that it gives me weight, and die. I get my stuff and find a nice open room for trolls to spawn, which funnily enough have 2 of the ingredients I need for the avian saddle step of getting a flying mount. I grab some troll tusks and some troll leather and then get killed by 2 chupacabras that were hiding behind some water. I then get attacked by a banshee, which gives you the fear debuff, which makes you walk around randomly until it wears off. Unfortunately, this led to me getting killed by a trumpet skeleton, which is just about the most pathetic way you can die in Rlcraft. Twice. I finally get my items back just in time to get jumped by whatever the fuck this thing is, run back down to get my stuff again, and discover the specter. Woohoo! Woohoo! I grab some torches so I can hopefully light up the cave a bit and stop all this bullshit from spawning. I head back down and witness a jazz battle. Get bitten by the instability rat and then sniped. Killed by a chupacabra with reach hacks. Feels safe for a split second only to get an arrow in the back of the head. Fail the jump of destiny. Actually managed to kill a Gru without dying and get an ender pearl. Immediately have to use it to escape another Gru, only to turn the corner into a chupacabra. Lose the Grupacabra 2v1 again. This happens, and then I finally managed to get my stuff back, except Nvidia GeForce decided it was time for an update and didn't record it. I then decided that I needed a healing source in my house, so I trapped a golden nymph in a boat and put it inside. It's very important to trap the wife inside and then use a name tag on her, or else she will leave you. I went to make an anvil to make a name tag for her, realized I needed to be level 12 building to place an anvil, cashed out my reserve XP which got me to level 11, 1 level short of being able to upgrade my building from 11 to 12 and place the anvil and make the name tag and rename the nymph to get heals in my house. I got the level I needed, named her something respectful, and trapped her permanently in the house. I then fought a Reaper and used what is probably the worst plan of attack in Rlcraft history, throwing a throwing knife straight up in the air. I don't know what I thought would happen, but it coming down and poking my eye out and lowering my head to half a heart was certainly not in my table of expected outcomes. I then went back into the cave for some more troll parts when I encountered an infernal troll, who knocked me out of my safety tunnel into a chupacabra. I then got into a hairy confrontation with a Gru and a Darkling, but I actually managed to survive. Things are finally starting to look up for me. Back on the surface, I involuntarily discovered the Ostimian, which flings me up into the sky and cracks my skull open. But wife is there to heal me now. There is no need to be upset. Around this time, I decide that I've outgrown Patrick and I's humble little house next to the village. I find a friendly outpost structure, a structure that I lived in previously and had a great experience. On my last playthrough though, it somehow caught fire and burned a little bit, but it was easily remedied and rebuilt. This friendly outpost was up on top of a mountain, so no mobs could easily come in. While I was renovating my new home, this happened.
Bomb storm! Party on!
And I just decided to leave the server.
Nope.
On my way back and forth between the new and old house, I spotted a golden rock. This would be a perfect flying mount for me. I always try to go for the cool variants. I happen to have the treats in the soulstone on me, so I let it pick me up. I force-fed it some yummy Silex treats and soulbound it so it was eternally trapped in my bestiary. Operation Flying Mount was successful. I just needed to get the saddle and I could fly wherever I wanted. Unfortunately, the whole ordeal left me pretty banged up, so I sought refuge in this village house only to be killed by a crake after sprinting near it. Things were finally starting to take off. Literally. I just needed the 2 feathers for the avian saddle. You can use either these or those feathers. Both come from rare birds in the jungle and swamp biomes respectively. I hunted around but couldn't find any of the birds. So I found out that the feathers can spawn in groups of at least 2 in the Sky Shrine structure, which is just a tiny little floating island with a chest super high in the sky. I remembered seeing one of those, so I go to it and start towering up, and get attacked by djinns. Make my way back up, and there's only 1 feather in the chest. Splendid! I spend some time sprucing up the new pad, greet my new flatmates, get killed by a scarlet Pterodon, and discover a funny little quirk about living in a village very high up in the mountains. You see, villages spawn Aegis to protect the villagers, and being high altitude spawns djinns. These are both elemental lycanite mobs, which can combine into ultra-powerful fuck monsters if they happen to bump into each other. The djinn and the Aegis happen to combine into a level 60 sylph, which I foolishly try to engage in combat and die. I get another wife for this new base, but she doesn't seem to want to cooperate. After a little persuasion, she agrees to spend the rest of her life in a cage. I spend all day protecting our home and come in to find her flirting with the local butcher. Also around this time, the dragons are becoming a bit of a problem around my house, and I know that I must get the avian saddle and face them in sky combat soon. I head back to the jungle to kill an amphitheater and collect its feathers. On the way back I discover the Jabberwock, a terrifying enemy that I have no desire to interact with at all. I finally craft the avian saddle and can now take to the skies. My rock does not want to cooperate and instead abuses my open-air concept floor plan to evade me. Anyways, we can now fly. This is great. I immediately use my new flying ability to save a couple sheep who were perilously trapped on the edge of a cliff, as well as saving this llama who was glitched into a block. Don't worry, citizens. GoFigglo is here to restore order to this world. Or at least, that's what I want them to think. The main purpose of acquiring a means of flight and transport utility is, of course, kidnapping, which is what I immediately start to do. But tragedy strikes. My horse that had been with me for all of this time suddenly dies. I investigate. It appears that it was a suicide. I mourn the loss of my friend. Could it be that he saw that he was not needed anymore? Now that I could fly, there would be no reason for him to exist. He took his life into his own hooves and surrendered to the void. I gave his armor to the rock. I kill a blight creeper. Blight mobs have purple fire around them, and when killed, drop a significant amount of experience and heart crystal shards, which are used to make heart containers, which permanently increase your max health. I also kill an infernal skeleton, which drops the Ender Queen's crown, a bauble that causes Endermans to fight for you and has a chance to dodge damage taken and teleport you to safety. This is an incredible upgrade. The only downside is that I can no longer leave the house if it's raining. It took me a long time to figure out what was happening when I teleported, and in this clip I think that it was the Soul Gazer item that did it as I was trying to study this hellspawn. In the middle of looting this battle tower chest, I'm teleported to the ground where I sit, dumbfounded, completely stupefied by what just occurred. This is a good learning opportunity that I failed to pick up on, and one that would certainly come back to cause me significant stress. The Ender Queen's crown teleports you away from taking damage, yes, but, as with the Endermans in vanilla Minecraft, it appears that the Ender Queen's crown prefers to teleport you downwards as opposed to laterally. This will be important soon. I finish looting the chest and get the Cobalt Shield, one of the first items I get that is just straight up ripped from Terraria. In Rlcraft you have what are called baubles. These baubles have 2 reforge modifiers that can be re-rolled to give different effects. You have 7 bauble slots available on your character. There are literally tons of options to choose from in this game. Most of them are really cool. Some of them are questionable, but they're all super unique and feel good. The Ender Queen's crown even allows me to discover a secret hidden room in my base that I had literally never seen before, despite living in this exact same structure previously and spending many hours in it. Imagine you're walking in your front yard, fighting a giant flying vape cloud, and suddenly you're teleported into an underground brewery. I was very shocked.
No way, dude. What the fuck? Oh my god.
I would eventually turn this into my wine brewing headquarters, but that's much later.
Whoa, it's daytime, yo. What the hell are these guys doing?
Another level 60 sylph spawns, and my Ender Queen's crown decides to teleport me directly into harm's way.
Oh!
Dude, what is going on out here?
When Patrick and I decide to clear the underground battle tower nearby, it teleports me right inside the tower.
Oh, it teleported me inside! That was not a good dodge.
What? Something teleported you?
I forget that Patrick has not played 40 hours in the last 5 days of this game and rudely explained the Ender Queen's crown to him.
Patrick, I have an accessory that teleports me when I take damage sometimes. It's random. I don't choose it. It teleports me somewhere random. That time it teleported me inside the tower.
But luckily, he thinks my bad attitude is just a Discord glitch.
I think something's wrong with your Discord. You were like talking in slow motion there.
I have another stroke of bad attitude and accuse Patrick's horse of trying to seduce my wife.
Your horse is looking at my wife funny.
My horse is... he's living there now.
Not if he keeps looking at my wife like that. I don't know what they're doing while I'm away.
Back in the battle tower, we see why the Ender Queen's crown stops being a useful dodge and starts being a malicious bauble, hell-bent on killing its user. It teleports me down into the fray beneath me in the battle tower, lets me get smacked around a bit, and then teleports me again into a dark, scary cave somewhere unknown. This is a harbinger of what immediately follows, where I teleport into another cave and get jumped by scary monsters and super creeps.
Damn it, dude. Oh no, I'm in deep shit. I'm in deep shit. Where am I? I'm so fucked. And my game just freezes for a ridiculous amount of time and spawns a fucking brew. Dude, that's awesome. Hell yeah. No, please, no, please, no. Fuck!
I actually managed to kill him one.
We can't, dude. We fucking can't. Oh!
Are you kidding me?
I got to my stuff.
Dude, how does this have so much health?
Oh, another one, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, Pat!
I didn't know that was there. This thing is still after me.
I go to show Patrick the Pike Battle Tower cheese and get hit by a djinn, teleporting me down to the ground.
God damn it, dude.
I also discovered that the Pike method does not work on the next chest below.
This tower is about to get exploded. Holy shit.
I find a mending villager, and he voluntarily agrees to part ways with his village to come live with me as my personal wife pleaser. I also apparently bring some bookworms back to my house, but this is obviously before I learned that bookworms fucking suck. I then encountered a stage 5 dragon just flying around near my house.
What? Okay, that's a little bit fucked.
He was definitely on his way to fuck my entire playthrough up, so I engage him in battle with my diamond longbow. I shoot many arrows at him, but eventually he lasers me.
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh, he got me.
I call him Big Daddy, and my fight with Big Daddy was long and arduous.
Just picked up a bunch of pigs off the ground and fucking ate them.
He does do me a nice favor though, heading over to the ice biome and killing an ice dragon for me.
Dude, okay, I'm not even gonna lie. This guy, Big Daddy, just fucking killed an ice dragon for me. He straight up fucking flew up on it and fucking murdered it.
This allows me to get just enough scales to make the dragon helmet and chestplate to protect my head and body, which is close to the best armor in the game. I continue my fight with Big Daddy, but he gets sleepy and takes a nap. I use this opportunity to check his health and see that he has about 60% of his health left.
He's not even halfway dead. What is this shit, dude?
This is bad, as I have spent well over 10 stacks of arrows fighting him, and have basically run out. I decide to pause the battle, mark him on my handy-dandy antique atlas, and come back once I have a better weapon. Right around then, Exclamation starts playing, and I witness the beginning of an abusive relationship between Mason and Rlcraft.
He fucking airdropped a creeper on my head. God, ow, please, no, ow, please, God, ow, please, owie, please, owies, I beg owies. I'm getting a migraine.
I then begin to experience hyperthermia, so I went to find frost rods to make the cooling coil to combat it. I read on Reddit that enemies in snow biomes will drop the ice rods, so I spend many hours killing enemies in the glacier biome, only to witness an Argus spawn and immediately merge with a Djinn, forming a level 40 Wraith. Wraiths basically just fly straight at you at light speed and explode, and normal ones are dangerous, but this encounter with a combined level 40 Wraith was definitely not going to end well. I attempted to outrun him, but it ended even worse than I thought when a dragon appears and detonates the Wraith right next to me, killing me instantly. I see my gravestone floating in the sky, but it's wintertime in the glacier biome, and without my items I cannot last 30 seconds without dying of hypothermia. I break my tombstone, causing all of my items to fall into the water, giving me another fatal bout of hypothermia. When I respawn at the village close by, a tower golem in a nearby battle tower randomly decides to nuke a hole through the library of this village. Interesting. There are now 2 dragons patrolling right next to where my stuff is, and I'm getting pissed off because I can't find my Undying Modifier tool belt, which had multiple spare tools and weapons inside of it.
Fucking unbelievable, dude.
I finally accept that it's gone, and make a new one, using all of my leather to re-roll it and not getting undying. I find a giant floating tower and decide to just jump off into the water, a decision which in vanilla Minecraft would be perfectly fine, but in Rlcraft costs me my life.
Bro, what?
On my way to get my items, I encounter the first sticky infernal mob. Sticky is probably the absolute worst attribute an infernal mob can have, as it literally makes you spit your weapon out onto the ground, leaving you completely fucked. The worst part is, I didn't even have to fight this spider, I just stopped to do it for fun, and when I go back to pick up my iron halberd, my only weapon, I find that a skeleton has stolen it. What fun! But that was nothing compared to what was about to happen to me. I was minding my own business when suddenly this mob event began. Eruption! I ran out of the house and flew away as fast as I possibly could, but it was too late. I came back to find lava flowing down the staircase of my home. Of my wooden home. I panic and realize I can't summon my mount. Panic, summon the mount, try to go outside, door covered in lava, discover that my house is fucking burning. I did not provoke these fire mobs at all, and my working theory is that an Aegis picked a fight with the one that throws fucking lava. And it landed directly on the roof, seeping down into my house and setting my private domicile ablaze.
What the fuck, dude?
I try to extinguish the flames, but another fucking golden rock appears and halts any progress. I randomly get killed through a wall by a trimmer, and respawn at a village very far away. I get back and try to go extinguishing the inferno, only to immediately get attacked by a cinder, forcing me to flee.
Dude, oh my fucking god.
By the time I clear out the mobs, there are only a few little fires left, and after failing this jump twice, I survey the damage and decide to condemn the property. I'm thankful my chest did not get blown up, but I am also very upset that this happened. Why would there be a random event that spawns a mob that shoots lava at your house? What does Shivaxi have to say about this?
So we were thinking about like a little bit of a warning system, but I decided against that, having like text pop up before the event, because I like the sudden like shock and jarringness. Oh shit, shit's going down, it's coming right now.
I'm in complete shock and don't know what else to do besides use the tiny little bit of leather I found to re-roll my new tool belt. On the very last piece of leather, it gives me undying. Maybe things aren't so bad after all. I decide to move out of the smoldering friendly outpost and into a concrete bunker made of unfuckable blocks. I head to a nearby purple lycanite dungeon, which is a mid-game high-level dungeon with some crazy bosses inside, and gather as many blocks from the entrance as I can. I start digging into a nearby mountain and decorating with the purple lycanite dungeon blocks. I walk outside and am randomly teleported by the Ender Queen's crown directly into the line of fire of a witch who hits me with 45 seconds of nausea.
I can't see anything. It's actually making me nauseous in real life.
Mason pops in for a moment.
Ah! Fucking!
And as I go to start moving my chest to the new cave base using the pickup chest mod, I get scooped up by a rock, which is really just a wombo combo of events that should never happen. I can't attack the rock because I'm holding a chest full of valuable items that I have no idea what will happen to if I die while holding it. I unfortunately have the Ender Queen's crown equipped, and the rock takes me out into the rain for a moment.
Dude, what is happening? I get the Ender Pearl crown is fucking damaging because of the rain. I can't open my inventory. Dude, is he just straight up not gonna put me down ever? Patrick, I need you to fucking attack this thing, please, for the love of God. I'm fucking like glitched locked.
He brings me back, lets me get slapped around by whatever this thing is.
I'm dead. I'm fucking dead. I'm fucking dead.
I don't know where you are.
I'm
and then just flies straight up with me.
I'm going fucking vertical right now.
I sit up in the sky, peacefully, in a meditative trance.
This is stupid.
I then realized a solution. I luckily had my mount there with me and could turn his behavior to aggressive. It kills the rock.
Now we pull off the ultimate clutch.
I fall to my death.
No!
The chest is saved. It all worked out. With a new perspective on life, I return to mining the purple stone. Mason gets himself into a pickle.
Oh my god, it just threw me into lava. Yeah, okay, cool. Alright, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, like, I saw that one coming, right? There's a lava pit right next to my body.
Anyways, at this point, I decided to stop fucking around. I was spinning my wheels, going nowhere fast. I needed to get on the fast track to progression, so I decided to craft the Advanced Enchantment Table, which is the key block from the Enchanting Plus mod I installed. I enchanted my bow and returned to finish off Big Daddy. I kill him only moments away from my house.
I killed him! I killed him!
Now that I have a stage 5 dragon skull, I can make the dragon canteen, which automatically purifies water and just might be the best item in the game. The only problem is, I didn't even need a stage 5 dragon skull and could have made it hours ago. You can just make the canteen with a regular dragon skull, which I had.
Stage 5 dragon skull, baby!
I wasted the stage 5 dragon skull when I could have had the dragon's eye at this point in the game. It took me a long time to find another stage 5 dragon, but I'm really feeling it now. In fact, I once again overestimate my ability and am punished.
I can probably kill an Argus.
Twice.
Never mind.
I craft a pair of dragon bone nunchucks and enchant them with lifesteal. This was literally all I had to do the entire time. This makes you go from fucking virgin hide from mobs to Chad Thundercock rip and tear through infinite enemies. A single one of these assholes would have taken 30 seconds of my time and probably killed me before, and now I decimate them just by holding mouse 1. I try to tell Mason the good news, but he has other things to worry about.
All I'm gonna say is there is a zombie that, like, encases your head in a fishbowl and you just drown to death.
I inform him of the dash ability, which allows you to dash sideways, but unfortunately has some downsides as well.
I don't use it though because if you launch yourself into a wall, you can die.
Oh.
Yep.
I raid a Lycanite dungeon and kill a malevolent observer, gobbling up some prime gamer loot such as diamonds and a soulstone, which gives you a free minion or mount when you use it. Unfortunately, this is an aberrant soulstone, which is guaranteed to give me an aberrant creature, which I cannot ride until I beat the Ender Dragon because I can't craft the saddle. The ultimate loot though is what's in the chests after the boss, which in this case was utter fucking garbage. This entire dungeon was a waste of my time. I discover I can just face tank battle golems now, and decide to fight a sea monster. My game randomly freezes and I sustain massive injuries to my arms and legs, but I live.
Holy shit, I just out DPS a fucking sea monster to the face.
Hiya! Oh shit, I pissed him off.
What the fuck, dude?
I find a villager that's selling advanced mending, which is great for me, and I forgive his village for freezing my server for 30 seconds.
Oh!
I fight the Wither, a fight that I was very overprepared for. Mason was having some issues with his neighbor, a battle tower golem.
Fuck it, we ball.
What?
And after rejecting my help for many hours, finally decided to acquire my services.
Come over here and kill this fucker. I'm not doing that anymore.
Okay.
I give up.
A decision I made sure that he would not regret.
Just make sure you don't walk in front of my nunchakus.
I raid a Doomlike and become enraged by a group of witches who reverse my controls, scramble my inventory, hit me with the spinning debuff, strike me with fucking lightning, hit me with nausea, and then start lobbing explosion potions at me. I just give up on the dungeon and go home with the magic mirror item, which teleports me to my spawn point on the rare occasion that I actually recognize the sunken cost fallacy forming before it's too late. Spinning! Oh, wee! Oh, spinning is so fun! What a great gameplay addition! Later that day, I'm hit with another eruption event, and come face to face with the fucker that burned my house down. Asshole. I've gotten stronger since the last time we met. Have a taste of my flaming dragon bone nunchucks! Ha ha! I'm pretty sure at this point that the same fucking guy that burned my house down just stickied my best weapon out of my hand straight into lava. I head back and look just to be sure, and somehow find my nunchucks on the ground. Whew. For some reason, items don't burn in lava in Rlcraft. Thanks, Shivaxi. I find a stage 5 dragon den and decide it's time to level up my bauble game with the dragon's eye, which requires a stage 5 dragon skull. I try to get rid of the infernal mobs that are chilling in the den with the dragon first, but I accidentally shoot Big Mama and wake her up. An incredible fight ensues, or at least, I think it was an incredible fight. I couldn't see shit, but Big Mama was defeated, granting me her skull and her child, which I put in a chest and forgot about. I could have hatched this egg into an incredible mount, but to be honest, my golden rock was all I needed. I craft the dragon's eye with a stage 5 dragon skull, a ring of enchanted eyes that grants night vision, some diamond swords, and a few rather expensive glowing crystals. Infinite night vision, infinite total fire resistance, the ability to x-ray for ores and chests, and best of all, immunity to hyperthermia. I spend every last glowing ingot I have, and on the last one, I get undying on it. I decided that the golden rock was no longer all I needed. My map was getting full, and I needed to travel further to find more loot. I needed speed. The rock is good for moving mobs around, but it's rather slow at long distance travel. I decided that what I needed was more rock, so I started going for a Morok, a rare dragon mount that spawns in the savanna biomes. I craft some rather expensive dragon treats and spend about 5 Rlcraft nights waiting around for a Morok. One finally spawns and I end up not having enough treats for him. The Morok is very ravenous. I eventually get him tamed though, but I forgot to record it, so here's a dramatic recreation. The very next day, a Morok literally spawns right outside my base.
Hilarious. Haha, that is so funny. Haha, I spent many hours yesterday trying to get one of these.
I raid another Lycanite dungeon, and when I go to put my backpack down to store some of my loot out of my inventory, I realized I had put it down somewhere and forgotten to pick it back up. Oops! I then run all the way back through the dungeon to the exact spot where I knew I'd placed it down. This is my autistic gamer special ability. I then decide to try and face tank the giant rat boss, because bowing it down from a distance would be too easy. It wipes out parts from my head before I even know what's happening, and I would certainly have been dead if it had hit me again. I head to the nether and find a little city where I stumble into a fancy party. I get picked up and shown around like a little purse dog, and I'm not feeling very comfortable with the situation. I also find a nether doom-like dungeon where I discover that there are spawners that spawn in withers. I find a Medusa temple and put on the blindfold that I've had in my ender chest for a really long time due to my irrational fear of being turned to stone. The fear is very real. But it's irrational because I really thought these structures are more common than they actually are. And this is the first one I've encountered in the entire playthrough. I kill Medusa, attempt to use a bucket on her dying body for some reason, and immediately waste her very powerful, apparently one-time use head on a stupid little spider right outside. Oops. This is my explorer arc. I now have a fast mount that makes exploring fun, and instead of worrying about how long it takes to find cool new structures, I instead get to worry about the size of the world file. I encounter my first mimic, which I'm very excited about.
Oh! A mimic!
These are new additions to Rlcraft and are very rare. They drop a couple very powerful in-game baubles, such as the Power Glove from Terraria, the Feral Claws from Terraria, the Magma Stone from Terraria. I, of course, get the Whoopee Cushion from Terraria, a bauble whose only function is to play fart sound effects whenever I shift.
I'm the fucking fart fairy, dude.
Around this point I decide to start going for Golem armor. It's basically the best tank armor in the game. The only downside is that it is extremely difficult to make. The crafting recipes for each piece are randomly generated differently for each world, and in order to even know what the recipe is, you have to craft an advanced rune reader to read runes that are scattered around the world. The last time I played, these crafting runes were rather common, spawning in chests and many different structures. Now, however, they pretty much only spawn in vanilla desert temples. With all the other structures that spawn in Rlcraft, vanilla desert temples are actually pretty rare. There are also a bunch of stupid-ass other items that have crafting runes, so the process is to fly around every desert biome you can locate, loot the temples, head back home, and check to see if the runes you grabbed are for the golem armor pieces, which they never are. Take for instance this clip where I finally locate a desert temple, grab the runes, and head home. I go to put the rune in the rune reader, and it vanishes. Gone. Poof.
What just happened?
I relog to see if it reappears. Nope. I fly all the way back to the desert temple I just got it from to check if I just lagged out and maybe it was still in the chest. Nope. It literally just gets erased from existence if you put it in the rune reader. Want to know the best part? It's nearly identical in color to the rune that gives you the golem chestplate crafting recipe. And after I got the other 3 pieces crafting runes and crafted them, I got the glitched disappearing rune 5 times in a row.
Ain't no way. Ooh, this could be it. Oh my god, dude, it's the one that disappears again. That's fucking ridiculous, dude. Oh my god, this looks like the fucking rune I need. This is the one that fucking deletes itself when I put it in the table. Dude, 5 in a fucking row, dude. Unfathomable. Unfathomable.
It's alright. It's not a big deal. I'll find it when I find it. But what I found in the meantime was a tiny little ice dragon skeleton. Look at him. Poor baby. I bring his skull back home and use it to decorate my waystone. I also find another mimic, which drops, you guessed it, another whoopee cushion.
Ain't no way, bro.
I also lost my antique atlas somehow, the map I used that has waypoints and shows me where I've already explored, and literally spiral into a frenzy and contemplate quitting the entire playthrough if I can't find it. Luckily, it was map number 0, which is available from the creative menu. I bend the rules of the game a little and recoup my lost atlas. Pro tip, make 2 atlases at the start and combine an empty one with the new activated one in your crafting menu. This gives you a copy that updates alongside your main one in case you ever lose it. Speaking of losing things, I lost my bow and was pretty sure I dropped it in this village a few minutes ago while rearranging my inventory, so I frantically search all over the place for it when a fucking dragon shows up and decides to nuke the ground where I thought it might be. I deal with him and keep looking, pretty certain at this point that my bow was on the ground somewhere and got deleted. I teleport home, depressed, and find my bow just sitting on the fucking ground at my house. What a relief. At this point in the playthrough, the Rlcraft-induced psychosis really started to peak. My brain was completely fried from the combination of losing my atlas, bow, and the whole golem chestplate affair, which I put an end to by bending the rules. To add to it, I needed to find a villager that sold Supreme Sharpness books, as the Enchanting Plus mod I installed did not offer that, since it was a treasure enchantment. I started flying around, leveling up every single librarian villager I could find. I know some of you probably think the Enchanting Plus mod is a pretty cheaty idea, and I honestly agree, but I promise you, looking for the Supreme Sharpness trade took so long that it probably all balanced out at the end.
Huh?
I also lost my backpack again, and was once again able to perfectly remember where I put it down. It took a bit of searching this time, but my autistic gamer superpower worked yet again. I find another itty-bitty little dead dragon, go to loot an underground library, which, unbeknownst to me, did not actually exist.
Oh, cool. I'm in the bottom of the ocean. Hell yeah. Oh, the entire structure I was in actually just got deleted. That's awesome.
I pay Mason a little surprise visit and give him a fright.
Hello, buddy. That scared the fuck out of me.
I also decided to use my soul stones I'd collected to see what new pets I'd acquire. Wow, very nice. Very cool.
What the hell?
I find another mimic. It drops the feral claws from Terraria. I find another mimic. It drops the feral claws from Terraria. I find another mimic. It drops the magma stone from Terraria. I find another mimic. It drops the magma stone from Terraria. I kill the ender dragon. Wait. Now we have to talk about something. Something that I've been neglecting to talk about. Now I know that all of my GoFigglo fans are very intelligent. I think the majority of you are probably super genius level or higher. You'd have to be to watch this A+ content. But some of you might have noticed that something is off. All of these clips are just me, all by myself. That begs the question, where is Patrick? This entire playthrough was for him, to introduce him to a mod pack that I had already played. To facilitate for him an experience. An experience which I have already had before. Well, the truth is, he quit. Right after the friendly outpost burned down, he logged on, moved his chest into the purple stone cave base, and then never returned. It was the smartest thing he could have possibly done. He decided that this mod pack wasn't for him, which is a very respectable opinion for one to adopt. Probably even the objectively correct opinion for one to have regarding this mod pack. He spared himself hours of trudging through dungeons and dealing with utter nonsense. I'd been holding back on progressing through the meat of the game, but now that I was convinced he wasn't coming back, I went ahead and killed the Ender Dragon. Now there was a limitless black horizon to explore, so many new things to encounter, so many cool structures to discover in the end dimension, like this one that has a hole in the floor. I now had a decision to make. Do I betray my honor, my trustworthiness, my honesty to myself? Do I violate the rule I instated against cheating, instantly invalidating the nearing 100 hours of tedium I had endured up to this point? Or do I watch it all fall away into the void, gone forever? All my god armor, all my weapons and tools I'd carried since the beginning. I can replace them. I don't want to cheat. I'll just remake the golem armor, and the rainbow maxed out ice dragonbone nunchucks, and my god bow, my dragon head canteen, my 2 pickaxes, my backpack full of end loot, all my baubles. It won't take that long. So as I floated back up in creative mode, I took a good hard look at myself. Why was I even playing this game anymore? Honestly, I don't know. I had what I needed now to craft the Ankh shield, so I did that. I made an aberration saddle, tortured my villager prisoners for a few minutes by giving them fear with my shade mount that I could now ride. Tried to use it on a dragon, didn't work. The shade really isn't that good. With a spark of motivation, I start redesigning my bauble build, reminding myself of my goal. I wanted to truly experience the Lost Cities. I got there on one of my previous playthroughs, but it was a lot different back then, and I never got very far. For anyone who doesn't know this, and is still somehow watching this video, the Lost Cities are an entirely new dimension included in the Rlcraft mod pack. It is home to the most overpowered and deadly enemies in the game, the parasites, basically just infected, fucked up versions of normal mobs, and with a bunch of new ones. These enemies are ridiculously strong and fast, and a single mistake could mean having your armor broken, and subsequently, your body. The best strategy is to sneak around and avoid any interaction with enemies unless absolutely necessary. It's very easy to get swarmed and lose control of the situation. Remember all that time I spent going for maxed out golem armor? Gone. Bye-bye! We need silver armor for the Lost Cities, because even just being in the Lost Cities for longer than 5 seconds inflicts catastrophic debuffs on you, handicapping your ability to use items and multiplying the damage you take by up to 10 times. Silver armor gives you the cure status effect, which prevents all negative debuffs. The only downside is that the durability is very low, so if you absent-mindedly take a few silly hits,
something just broke.
Your armor is getting broken, and you are going back to spawn. We need to reforge our good baubles and swap out the shitty ones. I need silver for glowing ingots. How do I get tons of silver? I find a brown lycanite dungeon, kill a shitload of geonox, get the geonox spear, and go mining for it.
Hope I find silver. OMGA. Silver.
We're also going to be utilizing the Battle Burrito food item, which gives a bunch of good effects such as resistance and regeneration. It only lasts for a few seconds though, so we need alcohol. Wine in Rlcraft extends the duration of all positive potion effects by up to a minute, depending on its quality, which is a number anywhere between 0 and 1. The Ankh shield nullifies the negative effects you get from the inebriated debuff from chugging bottle after bottle of wine, so it's a must. We get to work harvesting a massive amount of grapes and slowly improving the quality of our wine until it gets from prison toilet quality to Domaine de la Romane Conti levels of perfection. I grab the last finishing accent notes from the grape fields in the Asscrack village and start mass-producing perfect wine. I also make some bound scrolls, which I can bind to a waystone and activate whenever I need a quick getaway, provided I'm not taking any damage, that is.
It was time to go into the Lost Cities. I had all the gear and buffs I could possibly ever need, and my objective was to just go in and establish a base camp. I built the portal and took the leap of faith. Here we go. I got in and finding this mountaintop suitable began to make an obsidian box to put a waystone down in.
I then fucked up, almost trapping myself in the Lost Cities forever due to my obsessive banking of XP into tomes. It nearly caused me to miss the Waystone XP requirement, which would have forced me to actually fight something in the Lost Cities for XP, which is definitely not something I wanted to do at this point.
I don't have enough obsidian, indeed. Oh my. Nope, 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 nope.
I go back in and start finishing the Obsidian Box Base Camp of Operations Lost Cities Edition. But then a funny happens.
Dude, this shit is right outside of this box. What? How did that just happen? How did it just break the fucking obsidian?
This moment is hilarious to me looking back at it, and I think it's good to be able to laugh at your past self.
What?
Especially when your past self is experiencing Rlcraft-induced delusions.
What is that shit on my hotbar? What does that mean? Is he like fucking scanning me?
Teetering on the brink of a psychotic breakdown because of a game about blocks.
Oh.
At the time, I thought the parasites broke the obsidian, and my mind was racing, thinking that this entire box was useless and I was about to get my skin turned inside out by parasites. But you can clearly see that what was broken was the stone underneath the obsidian, my sanity, and a quarter of the durability on my pants. This giant parasite spider literally tunneled into my safety box just to slap me on the ass.
I'm gay.
The comedy starts to wear off, however, when I spend the next 10 minutes displaying a textbook case of paranoid schizophrenia that would have earned me a lobotomy in the 1940s and an Oscar in 2002. Once I finally snap out of it, I decide to grow a pair of fucking balls and head out of the obsidian shoebox.
Light potion, battle burrito, wine, fucking run.
I sip and munch and get wasted, giving myself plenty of buffs to increase my odds of survival. I take a second to regret all of my life choices, and then I plunge out into the Lost Cities. Things go pretty well, mainly because of the battle burrito and wine giving me tons of absorption hearts, which eats incoming damage and prevents my armor from losing durability while I have them. I just fly around farming enemies for a while, but then start looting buildings. The buildings are full of dungeon spawners that spawn the parasites, and being confined is generally not a good strategy in the Lost Cities. I therefore just float around, looting the chests by the windows like a coward, hoping to find the holy grail of Lost Cities gamer loot, the race rings. Question: have you ever wanted to change your race? Well, now you can in virtual video game land Rlcraft. You can find these rings in the chests and wear them as a bauble to transform into a different race. There's the fairy ring, the titan ring, the furry ring, and the dragon ring. These rings all have cool stats that drastically alter your gameplay.
But GoFigglo, what about the dwarf ring, or the goblin ring, or the elf ring?
I'm not even going to talk about those because they suck shit. Basically, the only reason I'm here is to find the dragon ring. The dragon ring is a straight upgrade to your character, and you can craft the rings with some other shit to make a permanent transformation elixir, which frees up the bauble slot the ring would use. Before I find any rings, though, I nearly blow it all by not paying attention to my potion timers and realize I need to drink wine only 10 seconds away from plummeting into parasite hell, probably losing my items forever. I would have been back to breaking flint and plant fiber. But luckily, I find the fairy ring pretty quickly and can stop worrying about flight potions and start worrying about dying even faster with significantly reduced health.
Ow.
Now, my little viewers, I wouldn't ever lie to you. You've been watching this video for so long. You're my #1 fan. You want to get on with your life, and every minute I add to this video is a minute you don't spend being creative, or reading, or doing any number of activities that could improve your life and make you happier. So, it is with a heavy heart that I've decided that I will be cutting most of the over 5 hours of eye straining, teeth grinding, butthole clenching footage of searching I did for the dragon ring in the Lost Cities. I didn't die a single time looking for it, and that's not because I've improved my skill levels, it's because I played very slow, like a complete coward. We here at GoFigglo YouTube channel Incorporated value your time. Instead of talking about all the harrowing moments and close calls I had while searching, how about instead I tell you a story? Long ago, battles were fought and victory was decided by simple strategy. The technological playing field was mostly even, and wars, nations, entire continents were won or lost by which nations had the cleverest military leaders. But in a little kingdom, dwarfed by looming threats that lurked just beyond her borders, was an old king. This king had grown stubborn in his age, and with each passing year he strayed further from his obligations to appease the god whom his people worshipped, the god of war and of the destructive power of flame.
The warrior god became enraged, and knowing how battles were decided, and knowing that battles were on the way to this king, he went to his mother, the goddess of childbirth, that blessed or cursed every child born unto the old king's lands. He convinced her to punish the king by creating a generation of fools, where no intellectual among them stood brighter than did the darkest corner of the war god's temple, where the candles had long been neglected and burned out. The last child born of normalcy in the kingdom was born to the king that night, a boy, the old king's only heir. On the night of his birth, the mother god had assigned to him all of the intelligence she had taken from the generation to come, for she could not only punish them for doing her no wrong. As the boy grew, he excelled past his peers in both intellect and physical ability, until one day the old king died. His son became the new king, and being quite clever, he realized what his father had done and what misfortune had befallen the kingdom. Word had spread now that the kingdom, once small but mighty in combat, was now lame, full of inept soldiers and lands ripe for the taking. Eager lords and allied nations alike ready to descend upon the lands the new king had to protect with nothing but a generation of fools. The new king devised a plan, one so incredible that had they not all been fools, his people would have risen against him and slain him. But they obeyed and made the preparations. If war cannot be won by people, thought the king, it must be won by superior weapons. On a holy day, the king marched with his subjects into the ruined temple of the flame god and appeased him, begging for his favor and disavowing his father's apathy. The god was pleased. To celebrate, the king said, "Let us have a glorious banquet tonight, for I have constructed for you a grand new temple, and we shall all welcome you into it with a feast of meat and wine, so that you will know our worship to be longevous." The god agreed, and that night he arrived at the new temple. He entered and was bewildered to see a large table set with many plates of food and drink, but with not a soul but the king stood at the end.
What is the meaning of this, king?
Flames of anger began to drip steadily out from the god's very form.
Where are your subjects? Do not provoke my wrath again, king, for your father's foolishness has nearly cost you your kingdom already.
But the king stood silent. When the god had finished addressing him and the thundering of his voice ceased its last echo, the great hall fell deathly still, and the king stared forward at the god. Suddenly, without warning, the great, angry god lunged atop the table and began burning towards the king, blasting through plates and chalices and crackling with flames in a stupendous rage. "Now!" shouted the king, and from the dark corridors along the sides of the temple sprang the king's men, carrying with them chains, and they charged forward at the god. He tried to retreat, but they had surrounded him, and they threw the chains atop him as a great net, pinning his burning, volatile, godly form to the table. They tightened the chains down. The god's ribs cracked, and his eyes flared with flames of unfathomable rage. To be outdone by a mortal! The king leapt onto the table and walked towards the god, unsheathing his sword. The god roared, the vicious howl of an animal trapped, and the king struck true with his blade, slicing clean across the groin of the fire god. The god gave a mighty bellowing of curses in an ancient tongue through gritted teeth, and around the men the chains rattled and strained with the heat and vibrations otherworldly in strength, but they held fast. The king reached into the gore and plucked from it a small, round object, pulsating spasmodically with bursts of brilliant orange light that shone through the blood of the fallen god. The god howled with pain. He reached in again and retrieved another object, and as the blood dripped away, it became apparent that the small orbs of light the king held were actually enveloped in flame, yet not even slightly did it singe the king's gloves.
"Well,"
sputtered the smoldering god of flame.
"You have them. What now?"
The king's subjects looked on, confused as ever, until one braver than the rest ventured to ask the king, "My lord, what have you retrieved from this fire god?" "The weapon that will protect this kingdom forevermore." "But, your majesty, what is it?" another cried from the crowd. The king looked out at the crowd, then at the fallen god of flame, then back to the crowd. He opened his mouth to speak.
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
So anyways, after I got the race rings, I took my first and only death in the Lost Cities, caused by running out of flight with the dragon ring and failing to realize the intended game mechanic of flight potions not working if you're out of mana.
Oops. Dude, fucking fly up, fly up! It's literally not gonna let me, dude. Oh, I'm so fucking fucked. I don't understand why it's not letting me fly up. This makes no sense. Oh my god, my fucking armor's breaking, dude. Fly up! Why is this not working? I'm so confused. Oh my god, dude. What the fuck just happened?
It's really easy to get swarmed in the Lost Cities, and I had a battle of the ages coming up if I wanted to get my stuff back. A battle I'd have to fight with backup gear, and none of the buffs I was carrying. It would be hard, and it would undoubtedly cause me much anger and anxiety, which is why I opted to transform into a gay little fairy and float over to my items and tee them back into my inventory, abusing the sneak mechanic, which basically makes me invisible as long as I'm not underneath sniffing the sack of a parasite. I've wasted enough time on this playthrough, and I wasn't about to waste any more.
Just need that one last item. Oh my god. I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Ouch.
I also farmed for the Sentient Scythe, which does a ton of damage and has a huge sweeping attack, but then I decided to spend a little time actually playing the game with another human being! Exclamation.
I don't have any water. What the fuck? What are you?
Damn, he glitch.
35. Oh.
What? Hang on, just let me put the snail in my house and give it a name. I want Gary the snail in my house.
Gary.
Oh! Portable wife. Oh my god, dude, not again. Unbelievable. I didn't know you were coming back up the stairs, dude.
Living is overrated.
That skeleton. Nice house. Ooh, ooh. These dogs looking kind of cute.
Get away from my dog.
Oh, yeah, I got rid of this fucking lava too. Irritating ass lava.
And then I stopped playing for 2 months, and then I did a little mining off camera, and got the materials I needed to beat the final bosses of Rlcraft. Rahovart, the fiery nether boss. Asmodeus, the giant brain with a Gatling gun, ruler of the end dimension. And finally, Amalgalich. Amalgalich used to be pretty hard, but recent updates apparently made him even harder by forcing him to be fought in the Lost Cities. Amalgalich is a certified freak. He has a suck ability that pulls you in and kills you instantly. The hardest part about Amalgalich is the Lost Cities enemies that infest the arena, all of which will kill me in 2 or 3 hits if I'm unlucky.
Oh my god, Dan. Fucking retarded.
But I've geared up all that I can. There's nothing left to do but to put my gear and skill to the test. Will I be able to conquer Rlcraft? Do I have what it takes to beat Rahovart, the lord of the underworld, Asmodeus, the mastermind of demonic invasion, and, according to his official wiki page, a fucking pussy with a minigun dick 0 out of 10. But most importantly, do I have the fucking grit, the mental ability, the nuts to stand a chance against Amalgalich, the final and hardest boss of Rlcraft? The final challenge in a world full of fiery foes, carnivorous beasts, shadowy specters, undead atrocities, all hellbent on killing me? Do I have what it takes? Do I want it enough? Have I not spent enough time grinding, quenching my thirst for power? Are you listening? I am the god of this world. Not Rahovart, not Death Machine Dick, not Amalgalich. I have the best gear, but do I have the heart? The heart of a warrior. Yeah, I beat all of them just by swinging my dragon nunchucks around like a dumbass. Some mod pack.
So what do? We just go around and look for shit?
Yeah.